Hang on, I need to sound the alarm. It is back. The rapid rundown has returned. You think we need a little music in the background while we make this fix?
I don't know. Do we? What do you think?
Okay, we don't have to.
It's going to be hard for me to talk over it because of the way my mic is set up, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Okay, so we have all the games, and now since we are a Wednesday show, we can even do the Thursday games lumped in with everything.
Before you put the games up, just so we pay.
Yes.
Last year we were kind of all over the place with how we did the rapid rundown, what we were using. We were jumping from book to book.
Mm-hmm.
We're now using a site, and you'll see this just so people know where we're getting the picks from. We're using a site called covers.com, which is a compilation of all the books by average, so we can get the clearest cut line up to the second. Okay, it has all the books: PointsBet, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, Unibet, whatever you want, it's there.
It basically gives you a bird's eye view of everything we're looking at.
And it tells you what the game opens at to where it is at the current state.
Let's see, Nick, if you want to pull up my shared screen.
All right,
you see
there we go.
So this is the site.
This is the website we're using. We're using covers.com. This has all the lines, and it's pretty good. So I'll put that back down. And we'll start. And now, just so people know as well, when we did the rapid rundown last time, we were on Saturdays.
Right.
So we were doing the Sunday games, and we could get away with the Monday games.
Thursday of the next week, where we didn't have a line.
Well, now we could do the Thursday games. We can do the Sunday games.
All the way up to Monday.
All the way up to Monday.
All right. So, gentlemen, it all begins with the kickoff game tomorrow night. It is the Buffalo Bills visiting the defending Super Bowl champions, the LA Rams. The Rams will raise their Super Bowl banner, and then they will get to square off with some tough competition. I think the NFL has hit a bomb in a good way with an opening kickoff game.
Wait a minute. So Roger Goodell didn't strike back this time?
No, he struck, but he just struck in a completely different way.
He struck gold rather than a vein of poop.
Ew. All right. But by the way, this is interesting because the Bills are the road team, and they're the favorite for defending Super Bowl champion.
So, you know what I'm going to do? I'll make the first pick because, you know
what?
Well,
let's give a little analysis just so we don't make picks right away. So what are your thoughts on the game?
I guess they picked the Bills as -2.5 because they are one of the favorites for Super Bowl champion. But I mean, the Rams are too. I mean, the Rams, maybe there's questions about Cam Akers with his comeback from injury. Maybe there's questions about Allen Robinson because now he's joining a team after, suffering so much in Chicago, and they're wondering if he can bounce back, which I think he can. And the Rams defense is still one tough defense, even though the Bills defense is just as tough. But I just think the Rams have a little more in the tank, and they've got the home field advantage.
It's a good point. What do you think, Nick? What do you think about the game?
I think the Bills are going to be gunning for this one, and I do think that they have improved. To a certain extent. I don't know if it's going to be that high, the spread. I don't know if it's going to be 2.5. I would probably take like 1.5, but I will probably say I'm going to go with the Bills.
Now, I'll throw you one more stat before you decide with the line, Nick, just because make sure we say the lines as we're picking the games. But the Bills, and I couldn't believe this when I saw it, when they have to travel 2,000 miles or more, they're 1-8-1 against the spread. 1-8-1. So if that doesn't tell you what travel does to that team, I don't know. But to me...
Are you saying I should change my pick then?
I'm just giving you a stat that I saw. So for me, and I can't believe I'm doing this right off the bat, I'm taking the upset in this matchup. I'm taking the Rams.
I am as well. I am going to take the Rams.
The Bills don't travel well. I just know that for a fact. So that's up to you, Nick, if you want to change your pick.
Nope,
but
I'm not changing it. I'm going with the Bills.
Okay.
And we will keep track of all the picks this year, so you can
Mhm.
see how we do each week. So,
Do we want to do any over under, or should we just keep it like this?
I mean, I'll give you an over under. The average over under was 52. 52 points.
That's a tough one.
These are two powerhouse defenses. That seems like a high number.
Yeah.
They're saying it opens at under 52. Okay, so under 52 points.
Under 52. I mean, I'd say we don't have to really keep track of the over unders, but
We could just talk about it as a little bit of.
yeah, that's a little much for me.
I would say under. I think these are two powerhouse defenses to say
I
the
think
least.
it's going to be just under. I think 48 or 45 would have been more acceptable.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Where are we going next?
Eagles at the Lions. The Eagles are a -4 favorite. And guys, I'm going to introduce something else new here to the rapid rundown. So each of us are going to do a bench lock, basically our lock of the week. So gentlemen, I am going to give myself the honor and pleasure of doing our first lock here. And I am going to lock in the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Detroit Lions in Detroit. I just look at this Philadelphia team, and yes, all the pressure is on Jalen Hurts, but I believe in Jalen Hurts. I have believed in Jalen Hurts since he came into the NFL. And I believe now that he has a certain new weapon from Tennessee in A.J. Brown, he is going to be able to really demonstrate what he can bring to the table in terms of his throwing ability. That he's going to have some fantastic passes to A.J. Brown. And don't forget, he still has Devonta Smith. So I see good things. The Lions, they're doing okay. They're still building through. They're still, like they got Aiden Hutchinson and company. They're trying to build themselves up through the draft. It's just not going to be enough against a team that I think is going to win the NFC East this year. So there's my lock. I'm locking in Eagles.
Nick?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. Take the money.
Yeah, I'm not going to use my lock. I'm sure you know where my lock will be going sooner or later. But I'm taking the Eagles to cover. This is a no doubt. The Lions are what they are.
They are who we think they are.
Take the money on the Eagles. The Lions are not going anywhere.
I think that's going to be another sound effect soon, too. They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, that'll be next.
Sorry. I'm trying to just put in the little things here on my spreadsheet. We move on now over to Chicago, where the 49ers, led by Trey Lance, will take on the Chicago.
This is a no-brainer. This is really a no-brainer.
6.5, though.
Take the money. This is a no-brainer. The Bears are in a dysfunctional hell.
All right. I'll go with the 49ers. You know what? I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm not going to take the line, though.
Really?
I don't know if I want to take that line.
You don't have them as a touchdown favorite against the Bears?
I don't know.
The Bears are as
okay. I'll take the line. I'll take the line.
Nick?
I'm going to take the 49ers, but I'll take it by a field goal.
So you're taking them not to that's confusing. Okay. The Bears are going to be one of the worst teams of football this year. I mean, all right. What's next?
All right. Up next, the Pittsburgh Steelers will travel to Cincinnati. It's a divisional matchup, everybody, as they take on the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals, who are a 6.5 favorite at home.
This is interesting. This is actually interesting, believe it or not.
So the starter has been named within the last 24 hours or so. It is going to be Mitch Trubisky starting for Pittsburgh.
Gee, shocker.
Which I'm glad they said that, because you know what? That just solidifies my pick of the Bengals. I am taking the money because Mitch Trubisky is who you went with. Mitch Trubisky.
I mean, don't sleep on Trubisky. Apparently, he's had a good camp with Pittsburgh. Not that I'm saying they're going to win, but apparently he's had a good camp so far.
It ain't 2018 no more, my boy.
I'm not saying that he's going to be the MVP. He was supposed to be the backup
Well,
That's why he was
well,
brought there.
it's only a matter of time. It's like the countdown clock. How long before he's benched in favor of Kenny Pickett?
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, that's a Pittsburgh favorite in hometown.
So,
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna save you for last because I know how much you love the Bengals. This is a no-brainer for the most part. Take the money. The Bengals are going to be spectacular this year. They're going to pick up right where they left off.
Okay, so since you decided to kill all my hype, take all my argument, I'm just gonna have my argument be a few simple words. Don't disrespect the Bengals.
I mean, Joe Burrow is going to be a top 5 quarterback this year.
This
He
is going to be a good Bengals team still.
You have 2 of the best wide receivers in the game too.
Speaking of divisional matchups, we've got the Patriots traveling down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins are a -4 favorite. It's Tyreek Hill's first regular season game in a Dolphins uniform. It's time to start the test for Tua.
I'm a little concerned, actually, to be honest.
So I'm going to disagree, and I'm actually going to take Miami, and I will take that line. I still have not forgiven you guys for convincing me out of that game where Miami basically in 2018 pulled off the unbelievable upset, the miracle down there in Miami where Gronk failed that tackle miserably. I was going to pick them, and then I went with New England. New England struggles down in Miami, and as much as I don't think, like Johnny, where he thinks that the Patriots are about to go down into the toilets, I think the Patriots are still wild card contendable. I don't think they win down in sunny Miami, especially not with that Tua Tyreek combination, which I think will be hot to start, but the rest of the season we'll see.
By the way, I think Tyreek opened his mouth just a tad too much in training camp. Would you agree with me on that point?
Well, I mean, it doesn't help Tua. That's what I mean. It doesn't help Tua any favors.
I mean, this game is weird. I mean, all these years, New England beat the crap out of Miami for years. I look at the line; it's under 44 total, which is not as big as I thought. New England's going to struggle. This is like going to be the first time in years that they're not like on top of the world, and they don't have Tom Brady anymore, obviously, so they're not going to get all the flags and all that stuff.
You have Mac Jones.
Who cares? Mac Jones is not Tom Brady. But go ahead.
I'm with you, Tom. I'm gonna take the Dolphins. Take the money.
We gotta have some good start to this to a Tyreek combination.
I'm hoping, and that's why when I look at the Patriots and I look at Mac Jones, and I'm like, hopefully he can have a better year and maybe they can improve. But they don't really have any offense. They really don't. That's what scares me, to be honest. I think it's going to be a light cover, but this is going to be a game that's like going to go back and forth until the end. And you don't say that about the Patriots very often.
So not quite sure if I get this. The Browns at the Panthers, and the Panthers are only a 1.5. It's a pick'em game, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
I'm confused.
I'd basically be an idiot to use my bench lock on this, so I'm not. So here's the thing. It's basically a pick'em game. So you know what? I'm gonna go with the home field advantage and take the Panthers.
This is a no-brainer. They don't have Deshaun. Their team is in shambles. There's no chemistry. This is an obvious take the money.
I think what's going on here is maybe the expectation that after those comments from Baker that he has suddenly walked back, the Browns defense might be having a fire lit under them. And to be fair, the Browns defense is still hella competitive. It's just that offense that I think is going to be bottom 12 this year because Deshaun's suspended for 11 games. So
Jacoby Brissett. That's all I have to say.
You can't win a game without scoring some points at least.
Right. So in that case, I am going to go with the Panthers. And I think it's going to mirror what happened with Sam Darnold last year, where the Panthers will look good for a couple of games and then just...
You know what the scary part is? They have the combined over 41.5 in this game.
Combined over 41.5.
Is that ridiculous? 41.5?
I'd take the under on that one, to be honest with you.
There's no way there's 42 points being scored in this game. No way. But yeah, I would. This is the most obvious cover, and I wouldn't even use a bench lock on it.
All right, Colts at the Texans. The Colts are a -7 favorite.
All right, this one is one of the most obvious. I don't think we even need to have a discussion about this. The Texans are going to be fighting for the #1 overall pick coming this season.
And then the Colts have Matt Ryan making his Colts debut.
Cover!
Yeah, I'm taking the money too.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover this one. Colts. Got more divisional matchups. Saints and the Falcons. Speaking of teams competing for the #1 overall pick.
Cover! Cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Cover. Okay.
do that too.
Okay. Let's get even more ridiculous. Ravens at the Jets. I think I know where the bench lock's coming in.
I am going to use the bench lock.
Boom.
I
It is
mean,
the bench lock. I am taking the Ravens by 7.
this was my bench lock. Thanks for stealing my thunder, by the way. But yes, bench lock. This is going to be 14 to 15 points at least.
Oh, double bench lock. Okay. Double bench lock.
This is going to be an embarrassment in week 1. I'm calling it now.
You need to get
All
the
right.
sound effect of a lock clanking shut.
I
for a
know.
door.
I'll get it. We'll have it for next week.
Well, let's say, I should start doing this because that's NFL game days thing.
Yeah,
the only-
this is obvious. Bench lock times 2 here.
Yeah, Ravens. I'm just gonna go a little riskier with the Eagles Lions, if you want to call that riskier.
I guess.
Jaguars at Commanders to wrap up the 1:00 matchups on Sunday. The Commanders are 2.5-point favorites.
I mean, at least they got the line right.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll just go with the home field advantage.
Yeah.
I'll go Commanders.
I am too, because there's really nothing. Unless you live in Jacksonville or Northern Virginia, there's really nothing there for you. So really, 2.5. 2.5.
This is scary. The under 43.5 combined for this game.
40. I would take that under.
Yeah, I would take that under, and yeah, I wouldn't watch this game if you paid me to watch it. That's how bad this matchup is. And Carson Wentz can go take a hike also, because how many times has he been traded now? 2 or 3 times. I mean,
Well, he was only traded after they blew it last season.
well, that's what the Colts get. But take the money.
All right, 4:00 matchups. We got 4 of them on Sunday, and it begins with the game of one of the national games of the week. It's the Packers traveling over to Minnesota to take on those Vikings. The Packers are only a 1.5-point favorite.
Which seems like it should be bigger because the Vikings are still running Kirk Cousins out under center.
But you know what? The Vikings have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and KJ Osborne. Who did the Green Bay have? Alan Lazard,
They have nobody, no weapons.
Romeo Doubs.
Yeah, you got a couple cruise missiles, but you know what? You can't fire the damn thing by just having a dozen people pick it up and throw it.
The only weapon he has is Pat McAfee on his weekly radio hit.
So I mean, they gotta split. The Packers and Vikings, with how they are right now this season, they gotta split. It's just a matter of what game is this going to be.
I'm going to take the Packers, but I think it's going to definitely be by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough because the Vikings have the best young wide receiver in all of football.
They have the potential to be a wild card team this season, and they have the home field advantage. And should Aaron Rodgers suddenly go down, that would open up the opportunity for the Vikings to take the North. I just don't know if the Packers are that team to get off to a wrong start to the season by losing a game to the Vikings in week 1. I don't know if they're that kind of team.
I mean, the Vikings are one of the better home teams in all of the NFL. Their fans are the best, in my opinion. The way they dress up, the way they do everything. I'm not a big believer of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I know he's won back-to-back MVPs. I don't see him winning a third MVP. That would be unprecedented.
I'm just concerned about his wide receiver core and if they still need time together. You know what, guys? I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the home field advantage. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers has no weapons. This is going to be interesting to see. I'm taking the Vikings in the upset.
Oh, you're going to go Vikings?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we go to the Vikings. And now from one of my
Nick, did you
Mr.
give your line on this game or no?
He went Packers. He
Oh,
said
okay.
it'll be by a touchdown.
Oh, okay. Got
Okay,
it.
so we go now from Nick Federa and I's likable Vikings to our lovable but miserable New York Giants, a 5.5-point underdog to the Tennessee Titans. And the
Wow.
Titans are the home team, so Titans. Derrick Henry, how many yards is he going to run for?
You know what the funny part about this? The line originally opened up at 6.5 and went down to 5.5. So I don't know what gave the Giants that extra point.
It's
but
only the fact that 50 bajillion is not actually a number. That's the only thing that's stopping him from actually running for 50 bajillion yards.
can I say one thing that's in your favor? Ryan Tannehill is actually in your favor.
Yeah, but they still have Derrick Henry.
It's still you still got Derrick Henry, and he's still going to be running all over Daniel Jones's face with his diamond-studded cleats.
Okay, I get okay, but my point is, if Ryan Tannehill can't get rid of the football and he's going to get sacked 15 times, you can only run the football so much.
You know what? You know what? I could see it. I could see a universe where the Giants could win this game, but it's not this one. So I'm taking the money.
I'm just trying to throw.
I don't live in that universe where I get to have that.
I'm just trying to throw it. I'm just trying to throw a scenario at you.
I get what you're doing, Nick Morganson, but we can't have nice things.
I'm not exactly an expert in quantum physics and alternate dimensions.
Well, I mean, I'm going to take the cover, but I'm just trying to make the analysis to you that if Ryan Tannehill gets sacked a bunch of times and can't get rid of the football, it could be closer than you think.
I understand that, but I don't live in a universe of sunshine and sparks.
Move. We got better games to talk about. Divisional battle. Raiders now with Devontae Adams at wide receiver against the Chargers.
This is a good one.
Don't count the Raiders out, but you know what? Justin Herbert is still the guy. So
he's another one of my top 5 quarterbacks.
I agree.
I'm going to take the Chargers by that line. I'm going to take the money.
I mean, everyone's going to look at the Raiders as like the dark horse pick in a lot of games this year. Mm-hmm. And they're going to say, all right, which games can they upset certain teams?
And I mean, this is one of them, but I just think there's something special about the Chargers this year that they can't go another year missing the playoffs with Herbert at the helm. It can't happen.
I mean, I think my crystal ball was right last season where I basically said every week Justin Herbert was the top 5 quarterback.
Right.
Or even
they still.
Yeah.
Well, did they make? I think they made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs and got eliminated, but
the wild card. They got to make it back. They got to make it back and win the game. That was one of my bold predictions for the season. They got to win a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders are not there yet, but I think the Raiders are going to be a good team and they're going to compete.
Pieces are there. The pieces are there. You know, Mahomes may not be at the top of the AFC for much longer.
Right. I would take the money just because Herbert's one of my favorite quarterbacks so far in the league. I wish we could have had Herbert when he was up in the draft, but that's neither here nor there.
All right. So that brings us, speaking of Mahomes, to Chiefs at Cardinals. Chiefs are -6 favorite. So it's Chiefs' first game without Tyreek Hill. I mean, he still has Travis Kelce. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins serving the first game of his 6-game suspension.
That's going to hurt them big time.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs just because I trust Mahomes and Kelce.
If Hopkins was here and he was playing, this would be a whole different game. It'd be a whole different game where I would almost consider going against this line. But with Hopkins being out, that's a main weapon for Kyler in a lot of ways.
That was his weapon. So yeah, I'm gonna take the line.
Yeah, this is money cover all the way without Hopkins.
All right, Sunday night game of the week. It's the Buccaneers and those Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
-2.5. The Buccaneers are the favorite on the road.
And Tom Brady, I hate him so much.
I expressed this when I was talking about how I would pick the Eagles over the Cowboys for the division set. The Cowboys just lost too many pieces in the offseason. I have questions about them.
Injuries also.
Injuries. I know I have questions about Brady and company because I know Godwin's a little shaky. Brady having the 40-day retirement. But you know what? It's still the Buccaneers. It's still an NFC favorite. I can't go against them. I'm going to take the line, even on the road.
The one thing I would say though is that the Bucks front line protecting Brady is going to be a mess, and Tom Brady's going to get sacked way more than he has in years past. I don't know how many times, excuse me, but I think that he's going to get sacked a lot more. He's going to have to run for his life a little bit more. But I'm a Dak hater. I do not like Dak. And now I know that I'm talking to two biased Giant fans over here. They're going to hate Dak to begin with.
I think the Cowboys do have a chance because they still have a pretty decent defense. It's just a matter, but it's still Tom Brady. It's still Brady.
No, but I think Dak is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
I don't think. I think it's exactly. I think it's exactly the opposite. He's
What?
one of the most underrated quarterbacks.
Why?
But it's just the fact that he's playing on a Cowboys team that's not that good.
Nick, he can't win.
I think
One person does not a team make.
I was gonna say I think it's more in the middle. I think Dak is right where he is graded to be, and I think he has shown flashes. And Nick, Morganson, you're right. He has shown some mistakes at times, but who's around him? I mean, there's still CeeDee Lamb, there's still Michael Gallup. Jalen Tolbert's a rookie. We still got to see what the hell he's got. But again, it goes to my point. I think the Cowboys just have lost too many pieces. This is still a team that's developing. The Buccaneers, maybe it's still a little bit older player, but I think the Buccaneers chemistry is still there. Yes, maybe the line is weaker, but I think the chemistry is still there. That leads me to go Buccaneers. Plus, it's Brady.
I mean, it's tough going in on the road on week 1. I'll say that too. But you're right. It's Tom Brady. They still have some weapons. The Cowboys, I don't trust. Everyone's saying, I think I said it on our preview show, Dak has to be the MVP if they're going to make a run.
He has to play like one at least.
He's got to. Oh, no, I'm saying he needs to be the MVP if they want to make a long run. It's not going to happen.
I know. I was gonna say, but you're saying he could, because he could make a good argument for himself, but they'll still give it to Brady or Rodgers because it's Brady and Rodgers.
Take the money.
All right, Monday night game to close things out on the rapid rundown for Week 1. The Seahawks at the Broncos. So Russell Wilson makes a debut against his former team, but it's not in his former city; it's in his new city.
Okay, Roger Goodell strikes back. He messed this one up. No, I'm serious. I'm really serious. That should have been in Seattle. You would have had a ratings bonanza if this was in Seattle.
I understand.
You would have had a ratings bonanza, but you know what? I'm still gonna take the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this line, 6.5, it's not enough, actually. I think it should be more. I think it should be a double-digit line. The Seahawks are going to be one of the worst teams in football up there with the Falcons and the Texans. Do you trust Geno Smith to really cover a line? No. I still have PTSD from being the Jets quarterback.
I still have PTSD with the Giants quarterback.
To make a reference to what one man once said about Mark Sanchez, I don't trust Geno Smith to throw me a paper bag sandwich.
I'm with you. I agree with you. So, yeah, this one is really easy. Covering plus at least 3.5 to a double-digit lead. So take the money.
Hashtag Broncos country.